Good morning. Hi, Maria. Hi, Joanna. Good morning, everybody. Happy Saturday. Happy Saturday. Good morning, Debbie Nelson. Happy Saturday morning. I'm trying to get my cord untangled here. Hi, Lori Schlag. Yes. How is everybody this morning? It's the most wonderful time of the year. Hi, Barbara. Good morning. Hi, Marty. Yes, let me know who's here. Hi, Elizabeth. Karen Nelson, hello. Oh, the most. Hi, Lucy. So glad you got one of the paintinis, girl. Awesome. And Elizabeth got one of the boxes. I'm so excited. Hi, Marty. Merry Christmas, everybody. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. I just had to play that little song for us. So I assume that this is working. Let me just double check because everybody's chiming in. And I'll open this up just so I can see your comments while I'm painting. Let me know if you have any good. Any comments or anything, or any questions. Hi, Ginger. Good morning. Happy Saturday. I am going to paint some more paintinis today. A few years ago, as I told you guys, I started painting these little tiny paintings, and I called them paintinis. Just because, I like to nickname stuff. So they are, kind of small. They're small, like this is the size of a business card. And I even have some smaller ones today, which we might paint. And then I found these little frames. Yesterday we did a 4x4 little paintini, like a little 4x4. And everyone voted for the gold frame. So I've got that one in the gold. And then I found these little Christmassy frames at Hobby Lobby, actually. But you could probably find some anywhere else. Like these little white Christmassy ones. Sorry, it's kind of dark in here. There we go. Hi, Marianne. So aren't those cute? Those are so cute. Oh, I can't stand it. I love it. Love it so much. So yesterday I was sharing with you guys about cultivating joy in our creative practice. And, I just feel like that's one of the ways that we can cultivate joy. Maybe for you, it's not paintinis, but for me, it is, So just taking the time to check in with ourselves and listen to what our creative voice is longing for us to do, right? And so it is there, and it knows what you need and what would light you up and what would cultivate more joy for you. And it's really just a matter of listening and saying, yes, I will try that. Or, wow, what a great idea. That sounds like a lot of fun. And the ideas that come to you from your creative intuition, spirit, your voice are always going to feel like that, right? They're always going to feel like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to do that. That sounds like so much fun. It's never going to feel heavy. It's never going to feel fearful or anxiety ridden, right? So that's how you can know the difference between fear talking to us, right? Or our highest self, or intuition or spirit talking to us, however you want to, whatever makes sense, however you want to word that. I think it's all the same. But we are powerful creators, each and every single one of us. And the power of creation that is on this planet is us and is in us. So it's super exciting. And so we just don't want to cut ourselves off from that creative spirit. So this morning, as we're going into the holidays, if you're feeling stressed or anxious or maybe even a little bit sad, you might just want to close your eyes and just take a deep breath. And maybe just remember a time that was really joyful for you, that was so happy. Maybe a memory immediately comes to mind of, oh, that felt so good whenever that happened, or I had that conversation with my love or my friend or my mother or my anybody, you know. So if something comes to mind, just call to your mind's eye a memory of a very, very happy time, a time where you felt so alive, so joyful. Yesterday, for me, a memory came back to my mind when I was painting the sunrises several years ago. And I said in the card, because all of these wonderful things were happening from me painting these miniature sunrises, and I was so excited, and I said in the card to Monty, I'm exploding with greatness. And it was so funny, and we both started laughing, but it was true, and it felt so good. So just if you can pull up a memory of a time where you felt really happy, really joyful, really loved, maybe even just really safe and secure. And I think this is important, especially in times when we're not feeling that way, to remind ourselves that we still have access to those emotions and to those experiences. And so it doesn't mean you may not be able to automatically transition into that emotion right now, depending on where you're at in your feelings. But just knowing like, oh, if I'm feeling sad or anxious right now, this doesn't have to last forever, and it won't last forever, right? So I know that sometimes the holidays is not always a super happy, joyful time for all of us. And so this is just a friendly reminder of, you know, there is still love for you here, right? Like your dreams, your passions, your dreams, your purpose do not have an expiration date. They don't expire. Okay? So sometimes just tapping back into a memory of a really powerful, truthful, life force, energy filled moment in your life, abundant moment in your life, can just remind you like this, wherever you're at right now, you still have access to that, and you will feel that way again. Okay, so that's my little Saturday morning message for you guys that was in my heart. Hi, Mia Magdalene. Hi, Mane. Good morning from Georgia. Yes, yes, yes. Hi, Jean-Pierre. Good morning. Hi, Blaine. Blaine Johnson. I haven't seen you in so long. I'm so happy to see you. Katie Hutchison, Maria, Colleen. Good morning, everybody. Carol Steinberg. Beautiful, beautiful lady. Good morning. Oh, Roberta. Hi, Roberta. I haven't seen you in a long time either. So, Katha, good morning. I don't want to miss anybody. Madeline, good morning. Joanna, Tara Kearns. Wow, so many beautiful people here. Adele. So for those of you guys who don't know, maybe missed yesterday. Hi, Blaine. Who maybe missed yesterday, this is the month that I call the month of giving and receiving, the month of December. And so what was in my heart this month was to find a way to give as much as I can to all of you, to everybody who I love, all of my friends, all of my supporters, collectors, students, peers, anybody who is wanting to receive what I have to give, then yeah, I wanted to do that this month. So every day here on my Facebook channel, I'm going to be doing Facebook Lives for free for you guys. They'll be up for the month of December, and you never know what I'm gonna do. Right now I'm painting these little paintinis, but another day it might be a larger painting or working multiple days on the same painting. So we're gonna keep it fresh and alive, right? Because that's what creativity wants. That's what our artistic voice and our creative spirit wants from us, is freshness and movement and variety and aliveness and staying excited about it. So I never know what it's going to be. I'll always let you guys know the day before, the time that I'll be popping in that day. I will not do demos on Sunday, so no demo tomorrow. And also December 16th, there will be no demo December 16th because we're having a huge Christmas party online all day for the Art Life School members. So that day won't have a demo either. And then also there's some other freebies there, some other free gifts for you guys. The 5-day challenge, you can get that for free. That's usually valued at $37. So if you want to grab that, if you haven't got that before, that's lifetime access to that content there. And then also there is a free 5-day challenge. A free 5-day trial for the Art Life School if you want to hop in there and check that out for free and see if it's something that you like and love. Hi, Kathy Robbins. Good morning. Good morning. So, yes. So let me know how you guys are doing. And we're going to get started. So I've just got a variety of sizes and formats here. I pulled up some images this morning after making pozole. I was like, oh my gosh, I have a demo at 10. And I was trying to get pozole cooked up. It's so cold here today. It smells so good, that chili. Oh my gosh, those chilies smell delicious. And some breakfast, and so we are good to go. Okay, hope you guys have had a lovely morning. Finishing up my little cappuccino here. Hi, Jill. Okay, so I pulled up a few different images, and I think I'm going to start with like this little winterscape. I'll show you guys, and I'll post these after the demo. Oh, what happened to my winterscape? So I have this image as a possible jumping off point, this painting that I did a few years ago. I also have this, I thought this emerald green was so beautiful with the red, very Christmassy, so I might do that one this morning. And then I also have this beautiful kind of snowscape scene with the moon. It looks like maybe a moon rise. So actually that one is the one that I'm feeling like the most excited about. So I'm going to start with that one, and then we'll go from there. Okay, so just so you guys have some reference for what I am going to be painting, and then I'll post the images and references after the demo, in case you want to, or I wonder if I can do that now. I think I tried to add a photo in the comments yesterday and that did not work. Let me see. I think I can add one to my page though. Let me just add these images to my page. Oh shoot, if I can figure out where. Do you guys want the images? Let me know. Maybe it's not, maybe you don't want them. I don't want to take up valuable time doing something that you might not want. Okay, can I add another image? Okay, well, I'll just add this one for now. And then we'll see. So you should be able to go to my page and refresh the page and see the new image that I posted. Oh, the gesso I just used on the little boxes. So Lucy's asking about these little boxes, and I am going to order more. I've already painted all of these little boxes that I ordered. I've been painting on these little antique boxes, and that's what Lucy's asking about. And then so I just sand them off, sand the top off first, and then I gessoed them with just acrylic gesso, just Liquitex acrylic gesso. And then each one of these little boxes is going to get a little note, special note from Spirit, which I've already written. So I just did like 3 coats of gesso. So this is the one that Elizabeth grabbed yesterday. And there's her little Spirit note of inspiration. So 3 coats of gesso. I'll try to demo those for you guys once I get some new boxes ordered in. And then I just sanded them down with some fine sandpaper after I gessoed them, and they are such a pleasure to paint on. So just this basics acrylic gesso by Liquitex. Now these already have, you know, they're already gessoed. They're pretty cheapo canvases here. And so I haven't gessoed those newly, just so you know. Good morning, good morning. All right, let's get this party started. I hope you guys are getting into the Christmas spirit, having fun, maybe decorating, maybe making some of your favorite things for the holidays, baking, cooking. This time of year always makes me want to do all of that. So all my stocking stuffers, which will include the paintinis and the boxes. I'll post the link in here for you guys since Lori's asking. And then also there's a lot of other things in the stocking stuffer category too, but those are the only original paintings that will be in the stocking stuffer painting. Okay, all right, let's paint. Let's paint. Sorry, I'm going slow. That's not what I wanted to do. Okay, here we go. I also have these little square ones. I have to figure out something to paint on those. I'm thinking maybe a pomegranate on one of those. Okay, cool. Let's see, I want to make sure. I think you guys can see this, and maybe you can actually kind of see the reference image if I go this way. Yay, Jolyn! So happy to hear that, honey. Okay, so one thing about like nocturne type of lighting is that it's cooler in the front and warmer in the back, which is what's going on with that piece of medium, a little clumpy, and warmer in the back. So I have two blues. One is the phthalo blue, which is my cooler blue, and that'll be more like the color of the snow in the foreground. I will put a little tiny pinch of ultramarine as well. But cooler and lighter in the front. Just get this started. Isn't that ooey gooey juicy? I love it so much. Don't you just love oil paint? This is so fun. So yummy. Yummy. Like frosting. And then for the sky, you know, this is not a true nocturne, but that's okay. It's almost a nocturne. Ultramarine blue is the warmer blue, more in the purples. So I'm going to add some ultramarine blue, some alizarin crimson. And we'll just get that sky started there. Clouds coming in here. Fun. You know, one thing that's really fun about doing these little paintinis is the pressure is low. You know, it's low pressure. It's just fun, and it takes little time. So you can really, if you only have 30 minutes or an hour, you can really do something enjoyable with that time and create something. So sometimes I feel like we can just fall into this trap of it's always going to be something big and grand and glorious. So I'm going to add a lot more white into this for the sky color and a little bit of yellow ochre, because we do have some of that sky peeking through. I'm not quite sure if this is morning. Kind of feels like morning. Softening these edges. I just have these little paintinis taped on here. Our darkest value, I'm just going to do some ivory black to start some of these little houses and foliage in the distance here. Let's add a little bit of alizarin, a little bit of ultramarine blue in there. Just getting that back horizon line. And then this little tree here. These also make really great gifts. So, you know, if you're not really feeling joyful yet or in the Christmas spirit, I recommend, you know, starting with gratitude and you starting with giving. So, you know, that's really what generates that joyful, abundant spirit, is us just having gratitude for what we currently have and giving our gifts to other people too. That's why I say it's like the month of giving and receiving, because it's everybody's giving and receiving to each other this month. And it would be so great if it was like that every single month for all of us. The world would be a much better place, wouldn't it? Okay. And I'm going to mix back up this kind of purple sky color because my tree is getting a little fat. Just make my little branch. Actually, just paint straight through that. I think I'll do that with a liner brush instead. This is a redo moment. Let's redo. Redo moment. It's just be easier to redo it rather than try to, work all around, especially this small of a scale. So we'll just use a smaller brush. Just getting some of these clouds a little darker, a little bluer around where that moon is going to be. Lovely moonlight, wintry moonlight. Let me check and see if you guys have any questions. Just some tape. It's actually just this tape, Carol. I just, do the double it. So, and then this has the plastic on the back of a panel. So if any paint gets on there, it's not actually getting, or here. Yesterday, this fell off in there. It's so funny. I was like, ooh, I'm glad that happened before I started. I didn't quite have it super secure down here. So yeah, or you can use double stick tape, of course. Anything like that will work. So whatever you have, making use of whatever you have. Okay, and then for moonlight, ooh, yes. Lovely, lovely moonlight. Cad lemon, some white. Look how beautiful that is. So pretty. Where is it gonna go? Here. Keeping my brush flat to the canvas so that peanut butter will stick on top of peanut butter. Ah, that's so pretty. Love it. Okay, tree. Let's go back to this tree. Using a round liner brush from Treacle, number 2. I'm going to use ultramarine blue and alizarin crimson. Let's see if we can get some gesture in this tree. And sometimes on these paintinis, they go really quickly. Sometimes I really just kind of get lost in working on them, and I'm just enjoying that. So sometimes I'll get more detailed with them or put in even more time. Overall, these won't take as much time as larger paintings, generally speaking, but we just want to make sure that we are not boxing ourselves in any way, shape, or form when it comes to cultivating that joy in our creative process. I need an even smaller liner brush than that. So just going with it, not limiting any of it by saying like, oh, this is a tiny painting and I don't want to spend as much time. Don't do that. Just wherever the inspiration is leading you. And I mentioned yesterday, I think, just how important it is for our creative spirit and voice to allow it to evolve, and just not get stuck in any one kind of identity or box. Even though there's a lot of pressure in today's world to do that, there's a lot of pressure to have your brand and be recognizable and all this kind of stuff. And I always find that the artists that I most admire and love are just free to grow and change and explore. And that they don't box themselves in too much. So one painting might just be really loose and abstract and bold, and another painting might be more soft and gentle. Yes, pull out your mini canvases. Have fun. Elaine, I'm so sorry to hear that. I hope that you're okay. Gosh, I know how you feel. It's, I think it's been a challenging year for a lot of us, not to minimize what you're going through, Elaine, at all. And yes, I do truly believe that 2023, you guys, is going to be filled with so much joy and love and abundance and laughter for all of us. Just put a little more yellow ochre into that for some of this kind of foreground grasses here. And even just pushing a little more warmth back here in the background, and maybe some more kind of bushes and trees. I think as that snow gets closer to the background, I'm going to layer in a little bit more of this ultramarine blue so it transitions a little bit more, since this is more nighttime type of light, and maybe just more of that ultramarine blue on. We've got like another little bare tree thing happening here. Also want to say thank you so much to all of you who, November was kind of a crazy month for me with, my uncle. We almost lost my uncle, who is like a dad to me. So thank you so much, everybody, for all your love and support. And sometimes some of the gifts that we get in thinking about Elaine and what she just wrote, sometimes some of the gifts that we get given don't seem like gifts. They seem like really shitty times, really hard times, really low times, really dark times. And however, I do feel like when I look back on my life and my experience, every time I've had those times, little house there's always been something to bless about that gift as well, and something that I learned, and gosh, and the vulnerability and compassion that it awakens in us whenever we're suffering and struggling, when we're in pain, and it can become such a beautiful gift because it can humble us, it can open us up to be nurtured and cared for, and to ask and receive help from other people. And so, Elaine, I also want to say to you that we're here for you as well. So if there's anything we can ever do to support you, don't hesitate to ask. So many times, myself included, we, in those times, don't want to bother anybody with anything. We don't want to be a burden, or maybe we were raised that way, thinking that, people don't want to hear that stuff. And it's just not true. And it could be scary, in those times, to ask for help and to seek help. But it makes it to where we're able to do that for other people as well. So it increases our empathy, our generosity, because people gave to us in really hard times. We know what it's like to suffer, and we can now give to other people as well when they're going through hard times. And, in the example of my uncle and almost losing him, and it was so scary. And I went there, and I have to tell you that, hopefully I could say this without crying, that I felt such such a deep love and such a strong faith as well and trust that this is a benevolent universe, and that whatever happened, whether it seemed like it was not a great gift if we lost him, but just trusting that that would have been the best gift if that happened. And most importantly, just to feel that love for another human being. Just to feel it pulsating through my body. You know, it was really just a miraculous experience. So okay, I think that this one is good. Let's do another one. Thank you, Elaine, for trusting us, you know, and sharing with us about that. I think when we do that too, it kind of opens it up where other people can say, yeah, you know what, I've been struggling too. And there doesn't have to be as much shame around it, or hiding or isolation. You know, isolation just makes it worse. So thank you for that. I guess I felt like it needed more clouds after all. I could just imagine just walking in the snow here. Home. It looks like it's like a little village of homes back here. Oh, by the way, I found this image on Pixabay. They do have some images available on Pixabay for free use, copyright free. So you can also donate to the creator, the photographer, if you want to. Okay, yes, it does feel really serene, doesn't it? Quiet. Doesn't that just feel like, it's like a quiet night? I don't know if there would be any kind of stars. Maybe there would be like a star or a planet visible somewhere. We'll put some in there anyway, just for funsies. Maybe this one should be called Silent Night. It feels kind of like Silent Night. So, okay. Yay! We'll just kind of maybe zoom it. It's so small. It's kind of hard to see that. Sorry, my nose kind of got going there. Let's do green, green, green. Green or roses? Roses? We did roses yesterday. I guess I'll do green. Not that we can only do roses once, but since we did the roses, oopsie, didn't mean to make that so big. Now, where is this painting at in my files? Okay, so I can add it to the 2018. This one's from 2018, this painting. So let me know if you guys have any questions while I'm finding and posting this painting. This painting is from 2018. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry about that. The Green Jardiniere, Jean-Pierre. He's probably laughing at me right now with my terrible French pronunciation. I think it might be this one. No. Oh. Oh my gosh, really? Oh, I can never find anything. I'm so disorganized in these. Where is it? what did that file name say? Okay, I might have to find it later and post it for you guys. Since we only have a little bit longer, since we only have a little bit longer to paint together. And then also you might be able to see it whenever I just have it up on the screen, as a matter of fact. I think that was kind of showing up earlier for you. So we'll try that way. Lucy, oh my gosh, you're such an inspiration, girl. She says she's been learning French for years. I know, I need to get started. Monty has been kicking butt on that. He's been studying French every single day for like the last year and doing really good with it. So I told him I'm gonna be lazy and just depend on him next time we go there. I guess, I don't know if y'all can see the palette though, if I'm that close. Okay. Okay, I love, 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 love this color of green. All right, so I'm just gonna mask in or do like a very light tone. Since this is such an absorbent canvas, it'll be harder to lift any of this color. So this is raw umber. And I just wanna, I'm using a lot more medium since this is so absorbent. So when you switch to different materials, you just have to change your process a little bit to compensate for the change in material. So a drier canvas is going to need a little more medium to it, and the paint won't glide as easily. So you have to use more. You have to use even more paint, believe it or not. Excuse me. So you just have to know like what the paint can and can't do, right? Also like that this one has this red cloth in the background. Sorry, it's kind of noisy. So it makes it even more Christmassy. These are 2.5 inches by 3.5 inches, Laurie. I'm going to go straight in for that green since I know I don't have too much time left. Phthalo, some Cad Yellow Deep for this glorious green. Green, glorious green. Look how pretty that is. So pretty. I was saying to somebody yesterday that I just feel like, oh, I think it was Jermaine was asking me something about the colors because I was just using straight black and straight, you know, some pure colors. And, you know, I was saying I feel like people do overthink their color mixing and overmix their color mixing a lot. There's just something so satisfying about pure color. Okay, and then this time around that where the highlight is, more of the lemon yellow and some white where the most lit up color is, and just mixing into kind of that deeper green to kind of blend and get that wet into wet and get that gradation of color change. And then sometimes too, what's really fun to do is just like some of that pure color, more glazed, some of that pure phthalo, more glazed into here, wet into wet as well, just to get some little broken color notes. This vase, still in my collection. I refuse to let it go. But it has like all of these little flecks, all of these like little flecks of like, can y'all see that? Gold and red and things like that. So I like that. I like the color of that vase. I also like that it has those little flecks of gold and red and color in there. So we'll also get some of those. This is just kind of some pure cadmium, yellow deep, and cad lemon. Just using a palette knife to kind of get those kind of sparkly bits on there. I love sparkles. I love sparkle and shine. And then just some white for a highlight. And some white on the neck, a little pinch of white. You could also use that skewer that you saw me using earlier. And then we have this beautiful white cloth. You know, these are really like fun little masterpieces here. And I love doing these too because, you know, everybody has room for a paintini, for a miniature painting, right? And also they could just be brought out, you know, during Christmas or special times of year. You could even use them as like ornaments, things like that too. So just creating this just with some raw umber, where the table edge is going to be, and then raw umber, some of that green from the cloth, I'm sorry, not cloth, from the jar, and some yellow ochre to get kind of a muted greenish gray background. Let's get that a little bit lighter though with some white and yellow ochre, because I want more value contrast right here around the shadow side and around that dark black. The base kind of has like this black band on it. Sorry, that's so noisy. Okay. So this side should go a little bit lighter for more contrast, and then this side, you know, a little darker, so maybe just adding back in some more umber. And just shaping up your drawing as needed a little bit more. And I'm going to mix just some straight cad red into this mixture, the green mix, so it mutes the cad red, which will help push this red back a little bit too. Maybe some yellow ochre as well in that, where the bend of the fold is here. I'm going to kind of leave it a little unfinished looking since it's further back in space. Okay, beautiful, beautiful. Just making sure that contour is clear enough against the background. And then we do have this lovely lemon. Let me just use a little paper towel to wipe away for that. That's a good question, Debbie. Yeah, I guess if you feel like you don't know the person's taste well enough, that might be tricky. Like, the only people I've ever given art to has been my family, and of course it's been my art. So it's like, that also is weird too, right? Because it's like, oh my gosh, what if they don't really like this, and that then they feel like they have to show it because I gave it to them. Yeah, I totally get where you're coming from with that. So I don't know, at this point I feel like I do know them well enough, and there are certain members of my family that I know don't appreciate it as much, so they don't get it. So they don't get any art. Of course, my mom loves and appreciates anything and everything. She does really like these paintinis though. She was like after me to paint some more this year, I think secretly, so that I would gift her one. Especially the snow scenes. She really loves the snow scenes. So that was just pure cad lemon, and then a little more cad yellow deep. This painting has like an orange and a lemon in it. I feel like the orange clashes a little bit, so I'm just going to have all three of these be lemons. You could also just ask, like my uncle who I was talking about, he, you know, and he's pretty vocal. He was always pretty vocal about what kind of work he liked, but he had also inherited like a lot of Southwestern art from my great-grandmother. And so I knew with him that he liked more kind of Western art, and he liked landscape in particular. So some of the first pieces he ever bought from me were some of my landscapes in college. So I always know, like, oh, if I give him a landscape, especially if it kind of has a like southwestern colors, like terracottas and oranges and blues in it. Or maybe it's kind of like a farm scene or something. I was pretty sure that he would like that. I just felt like that edge needed a little more green, a little more light. Also put some little flecks of red now that I had that red mixed up on there. And now we're going to use background just to carve out or contour ever so carefully on this tiny, tiny painting. So if you know somebody, what colors they like, what they like to decorate with, usually you can pick out something that you're pretty confident that they'll enjoy. But if you don't know them very well, or if you've never seen their home, also, another good way, look at what they wear. Look at the colors that they wear, if they wear color. Of course, if there's somebody that just wears all black, that's kind of hard to know. Like so many women today wear, it's like, oh, don't know what to wear, just wear all black. So that won't be helpful. But or how the colors that they decorate their home in, if you know anything about that. Like, do they like reds? And like my mom loves red, orange, yellow. She's a warm tone person, right? But then my grandma, she likes pinks and blues and pastels. So I always know with her that if she'll appreciate anything, but I do know with her that she tends to like the cooler, more feminine tones, I guess you would say. So yeah, you might think about that too. And like I say, I always find that the colors that people wear or how they dress also tends to be the colors that they like. I will say you can't really go wrong with landscape. Almost everybody enjoys landscape around the house, which is why it ends up being kind of one of the number one painted subjects and also number one selling, other than maybe abstract art, because they can put it anywhere as well. If you have a friend that loves to like garden, that they love flowers and roses and gardening, then maybe a floral piece is best for them. I still have some of this color from the snow scene, so I'm just going to use that. It's kind of a blue-gray, so I'm just going to use that for shadow on white cloth. And I am putting in little doses of my green from my green jar just for color harmony's sake. Keeps that green going. These lemons are so tiny, I'm going to need to use like a skewer for my highlights. With things for you and me. Okay. So cultivating joy in our creative practice. I think one of the ways that we can do that too is just being in the moment, slowing down. The more we're concerned about it coming out right or coming out in a certain timeline, anything like that. So just kind of, that will shut down the joy faster than anything. Feeling like you are not good enough, or it's not good enough, or you messed up. The more you're looking for failures and problems, that's going to shut down your joy in your creative process really quickly. So just being grateful, being grateful for the skills that you have, the ability that you have today with this painting that you're working on, and just really enjoying it, enjoying the fact that you're human. You get to be here on this planet. You get to do this. Do you know how many people wish that they could do this? Creatives, we're really lucky. We're really lucky. We have something that we can both create for other people and brings us so much joy if we allow it to. You know, there's a lot of people who don't have that creative gift or calling. And I really do think it is a calling. That needed a little more black. That's just straight ivory black. So satisfying. Just put down a nice, rich, dark color and make that shape pop a little bit more. Just using some tape, you guys, which is why they're moving around a little bit too. I just double stick tape. Oh, good, Lynn. I'm so glad to hear that. She says, awesome Saturday, 2 paintings today. Thank you. This really brightened my day and really after a streak of really bad weeks. And you guys, I gotta be honest with y'all. I've had some streaks of really bad weeks lately. It's been about 2 months of a lot of challenging stuff. I won't go into all of it, but yeah, it's been hard. And sometimes in those times, you know, we just have to take our time to feel it and move through it. And also we can feel things without owning it, without ownership. So we can feel disappointed, have an experience of disappointment, you know, without being disappointed. Does that make sense? We can have an experience of failure without being a failure. So powerful. And then, of course, the antidote, I believe, always is gratitude. Coming back to gratitude in those challenging times. I've got some little eucalyptus leaves here. And blessing the gift, the challenging gift, because it's a gift. There's always something to learn from it. There's a lesson in it. And so blessing that gift and not poisoning the fruit of your harvest, right? So we tend to think of harvest as only like maybe a beneficial, abundant thing, but I think harvest comes in many ways, shape, or form. Sometimes harvest looks like lack. Sometimes harvest looks like loss, in my experience. It's still a harvest. And so I think we just have the power of choice to choose. Choose if we are going to, you know, bless that gift and be thankful for that gift, even if it doesn't look like even if it's not the gift that we wanted. And just, you know, leaning into it without necessarily identifying it or becoming it or giving up, you know. But gratitude, I think, always coming back to gratitude. And that's where giving to others, right, can be so helpful. So you all have been, all the artists who are here, you all have been blessed with so many creative gifts that you can use this holiday season to give to other people, to give them a little painting. You know, don't worry about if they'll like it or not, right? Like, you did your part in the giving. And when we give, we can also receive. So sometimes some of us are super comfortable giving and not comfortable receiving. So we might give to everybody else, but then maybe we're shutting down our own receiving without knowing it, which is something that something I've struggled with as well. Because so many of us were raised that receiving is taking, or maybe to feel uncomfortable with it, depending on how you were raised. But that's a lie. It's not true. Receiving is not taking. So it's just a cycle, you know. You give and then you receive. You give to somebody else, they receive. Somebody gives to you, you receive. You know, so it can be a cycle that is very beautiful, and that's all any of us are doing on this planet, is giving and receiving to one another. Sometimes the gifts are maybe not great, you know, or don't feel happy, or aren't very nice. Sometimes I see all the time around here where I live, there's a lot of people suffering, and a lot of them are walking around giving gifts of suffering to each other. Just sad to see. Okay, just getting some glow on there. You're so welcome. EST training. What's EST training, Madeline? I'm going to have to look that up. That's really interesting. Yeah, I'm sure many of you know, I'm obsessed with personal growth, personal development. And I do 100% believe that, you will have more success on this planet, the more you grow as a human being. And of course, growing takes action. So a lot of times, maybe we read a lot or consume a lot, but maybe we're not actually taking action or implementing, and so the growth doesn't happen. So then in our head, we feel like we did a lot because we learned a lot of information, or we took in a lot of information, but we didn't maybe actually apply. And so it would be like if somebody was watching a bunch of workout videos but never actually went and worked out, right? So they're not actually going to grow their bodies until they actually go and exercise it and stretch it and create some pain and some discomfort, and invest the time, into it as well. That's the only way they're going to see results. So very similar in personal growth. Words are just words, just like applying it and taking action, just one baby step action. So I was saying that yesterday too about creativity. Like, if your creative voice, your intuition says something to you, wouldn't it be fun? Hey Kelly, wouldn't it be fun to do paintinis again? And you go, yeah, that's a good idea. And then you don't take action on it. You don't go buy the little canvases or pull out the little canvases if you already have some. Well, then your creative voice says, oh, she doesn't take me seriously. She doesn't listen to me. So I'm going to stop talking to her. And then you go, I'm not inspired anymore. Or I don't know, I don't paint. I used to paint, but I don't paint anymore. I lost my juju. And then maybe sometimes too we believe things like, well, other people are really artists. I'm not. That's a bunch of baloney. Bologna. But that's what happens when you don't listen to your creative spirit, to your voice. Oh, awareness training. Yeah. Awareness training. Pathways, personal growth. Oh, cool. Thank you. Thank you for that, Madeline. I'm going to have to do a little research on that. So zoom in here on those little guys. Let me see if there's any other questions before we go. You're so welcome, Liz. I'm so happy that you enjoyed this. I'm loving being with all of you. Now, I won't be with you guys tomorrow, of course, since that's Sunday. Oh.
This is from 2018.
Wow. Whoa. I think there's been a ton of comments that came in that I didn't see. Holy moly. What happened there? Okay. Sorry, guys, if you had put in a comment. I think it stopped informing me of that. Lucy asked about signing. Okay. Oh, okay, maybe I didn't miss as much as I thought I did. Thank you, Carol. Signing. Okay, so on these, you can either, if you don't have anywhere to sign them, you can sign them on the back. But oftentimes what I'll do is use my skewer and just find an empty place. If I'm going to put a frame on it, which I did find some frames now, I'll just find a place to carve my name in there somewhere small. Or you can use a little liner brush. I don't know anything about Ron Hubbard. That name sounds familiar, but I don't know. Yeah, most things that I study is just like what Madeline was saying, like, mindfulness, a lot of visualization techniques. Some disassociation techniques for stressful things that are stressing you out or getting you in anxiety or fear. Oh my gosh. Okay, this is not my best signature ever, but because I think this liner brush isn't quite long enough. But you can use like a really thin, fine liner brush if you have one to sign down there. Yeah, push pin, that's a great idea, Madeline. Push pin will work as well. So like this one, I can put this one in this little frame here, something like that, since it's kind of wintry. Or they have like those little easels too that you can do. So you can also order those very affordably. These little easels, and you could even like, if you wanted to give this as like an ornament gift, you could glue it to the easel, and then put a little ribbon here for hanging. Thank you, Carol. I know, I love my red. I don't think it's my best color, but well, never mind. I won't say that because you just said I looked smashing. So I received that. Thank you so much. So I will receive that compliment. Thank you. Okay, beautiful people. I hope you all have an amazing, amazing Saturday. I hope that you get to create or get to give something to somebody or get to receive something from somebody. Maybe it's you giving to yourself or giving to somebody that you love. Find a way today to give to somebody. And, the more joy that we can cultivate, the more inspired we are to give, okay? So yesterday, I went and got a bunch of yesterday morning I went shopping and got a bunch of these little paintinis and frames, some new ornaments for the Christmas tree that were really beautiful. And I was just like, I'm so happy, And then I'm at a stoplight and there's a homeless woman standing there, and she had the biggest smile on her face, with her sign. And I thought, wow, this is somebody who is not afraid to ask for what they need. And I was just feeling so lifted and so happy. And so I gave her $5. And that felt so good. And it felt like a gift to me to give to her. So it's just fascinating, how joyful it can feel to give to other people. And sometimes that's money, sometimes that's time, sometimes that's, time, energy, and just sharing experiences with one another like we're doing here today as well. So thank you for allowing me to give to all of you. It's making my life so much better this month too. So thank you for being here, and I hope you have a beautiful day. Bye for now. I'll see you Monday. So watch for the time. I'll post the time tomorrow. Bye.